How's it going? What do you want to talk about? Hey, do you remember your first plant? The first one you raised without Ma's help? It was... Now what was it? Well, it was a flowering plant, that's for sure. You know what? I think you're right. Downright invisible in the snow they were. I remembered you cared for those flowers more than you cared for yourself. Sometimes I'd catch you sneaking out in the middle of the night just to watch them. It seemed to pay off, though. Within a week, they were blooming, and in the middle of winter, no less. Really showed the power of tender loving care right there. Sure, the magic helps, but... What I'm trying to say is... It's good to care. Not enough people in this world care anymore. How's it going? What do you want to talk about? I guess I had this coming. You don't disappear for over a decade and expect no questions asked. Just, it was really hard, you know? Until he passed away. I know your folks are forgiving people, but I just couldn't face him. Actually, you didn't get to know Aunt Matilda much, did you? She left home when you were, what, 5, 6? You would have loved her. She was a lot like you. Probably would have gotten you in a lot of trouble, though. Certainly did with me. I miss her every day. It was a different situation than what we've got here. I wasn't planning on looking after her. I just wanted to keep her company. Should have been more careful, though. Things could have been different if I'd stayed. I'd rather not talk about this anymore, if that's all right with you. How's it going? What do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about? I gotta be honest, when it comes to these masks, I probably know about as much as you do. Tilly and I found crates full of them back at the academy. I think they were being made there. And the only kind of people I ever saw wearing them were traveling merchants. Oh, right. This was way before your time. Really showing my age here. There was a time where the miasma wasn't so high up, which meant that people could actually walk from town to town, selling their wares and such. Crazy, I know. Of course, even back then, it wasn't the safest thing to be traveling between the mountain towns. One wrong turn and you could end up in a miasma pocket, you know? So these masks were pretty popular with the traveling crowd. You know, back when there were travelers. And before they got banned. I know. A life-saving accessory banned? Well, you can blame Little Rock politics on that. About a century ago, what was his name? Short Silver Pete? No, that's stupid. It was something more clever. Anyway, someone found Pete dead out in the wild, and he was wearing a mask. A panic started building up, and the good citizens lobbied to get the mask banned. Even though no one ever knew how he died. The poor old Pete wasn't even found in the miasma. Could have died of a heart attack for all we know. But, you know Little Rock. They claim to be sun-fearing, but they're really just everything-fearing. Yeah, to be fair, these masks made a lot of people think they were more invincible than they actually were. I don't think the Academy intended these to be used by civilians. I'd hope not. Anyway, that's pretty much all I know. How's it going? What do you want to talk about? Dust eaters? They clean the air and make great anchors for gardens. But you already know all that, right? Surely Ma taught you that much. Oh, you're asking about their miasmic properties. Well, again, I can only tell you what I know from reading old Academy papers. One of the old scholars, Arlett Fielding, I think, thought that the Dust Eaters actually subsist on miasma. That's why you usually see them by the edges of the miasma, supposedly. I think that's also why Aunt Matilda's Dust Eater couldn't produce no more. At the time, it was too far away from the miasma. I wouldn't say that. If anything, Dust Eaters are good because they eat miasma. Without them, we'd have no hope, right? Still, I guess it wouldn't be right to call them good, either. Ultimately, dust eaters are just plants. I think maybe assigning morality to natural and otherworldly phenomena may be an exercise in folly. But heck, what do I know? How's it going? What do you want to talk about? You're asking me about Little Rock? Buddy, we just got here. Don't tell me you're already getting homesick. Aw, you don't gotta hide. You ought to miss it a little, right? Right? Well, figures. You wouldn't be out here if you loved your town too much. Humor me then. What do you think you'll miss the least about Little Rock? I don't care much for your neighbors either. All that gossip and rumor mongering? I'm glad to be out of that at least. You've never lived alone before, right? So you never know. Maybe you'll realize you miss all that noise. In any case, Little Rock's not going anywhere. But we've got work to do here now, don't we? How's it going? What do you want to talk about? You're not gonna believe this, but I wasn't around much to see the Academy in their heyday. At that point, I was mostly spending time with your great-great-grandma. I take trips out there every now and then, though. Those folks sure seemed busy in those days. I think I watched them try to build an odd crystal cage at one point. That was kind of neat. That's all I can think to say about the Academy. You gotta understand, I couldn't get too close. The Academy did a lot of good things, but they didn't care for outsiders. Sometimes they were downright hostile. Plus, there were rumors that they'd hunt down miasma creatures and take them in to do autopsies. I couldn't risk that. Grandma Betty would have been furious. I know. Tilly was hoping I had juicier stories too. But I knew about as much as she did. How about this? If you clear all the miasma in the canyon, I'll give you a tour of the Academy. Show you all the same places Tilly saw. That's the best that I can offer.